Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So today we're going over Vaccine Angels. We got a whole new wave of support with this latest set in the form of the other half of our Angel Brigade here in the form of Angelomon and all of her Evos. So does that really change much in the deck? That's what we're going to look at today. Also, don't forget to check out our GoFundMe, guys. We're getting there. We're at 480 out of 700. We're like 200 off right now. You guys just keep laying it out there, and I love it so much. You guys just absolutely incredible people. Anyone else, literally just the cost of a booster pack, $5, and just we get a handful of you guys, and we'll be there. I would so beyond appreciate any kind of support. So that way we can start streaming, and so you can start seeing, live deck building and, the thought process behind everything as we go. You can watch for our testing, and of course you can watch all the Ultimate Cups as well as regionals that we're signed up for this year, which is going to be a ton. I'm so stoked for this season. I don't know. I'm more hyped for this season than any previous season. So if you guys want to come, enjoy with me, come help me out so I can start streaming for you guys. All right, so I've got the whole deck pulled up for you guys so you can kind of follow along with us. Yes, we are over cards just because we got some really good talking points down here at the end of everything. So this is kind of what we're working with, and right off the bat, not a whole lot has changed, really. We've changed up our level 5s a little bit and a little bit of our level 4s, but I don't know. For me personally, I am not a huge fan of Barrier, right? So let me clear this out right quick and go into the new set. There's all these new cards that have, Barrier and, Give Stuff Barrier, a 2K minus DP, that's fine on stuff like that, but like the Gatomon here, not a big fan of it. To get its value on its level 4 or on its, all turns effect, it's got to be in play, things like that. So not overly thrilled about it, as well as the Kari. I feel like the TKs we have are just so more impactful in the deck that we just rather do that, as well as the options here of just the fact that they have to, trash your security isn't really all that ideal. Yeah, we do a lot of recovery, which is fine, but too much trashing of our security, we can only recover back usually once per turn. So we don't want to go too aggro on that. So I went for more of a bit of a control style of what we got. So this is more of a kind of an attrition deck. So we're trying to just outlast our opponent with this style of play. So let's go ahead and get into this. For the most part, most of you guys know what these cards do. We still have the Tokamon when a card is added to security, draw one. Over the new baby instead. The Narrowmon here is when attacking by trashing the top or bottom of your card, gain 1 memory. Like if I'm mid attack, what do I need 1 memory for while I'm attacking? And trashing a security at that, I just didn't feel too worth it to me. Of course, we got the Kudamons here. He's like fantastic. He's the only searcher in the deck. He's the best searcher besides our options. So reveal 3, added a yellow Digimon card with vaccine trait and 1 yellow tamer. And then the inheritable here is okay when attacking once per turn if there are 6 or fewer total cards in both players' security stacks. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. Good for like mid to late game, I suppose, but mainly he's just here for the search. Next, we've got the BT14 Patamon, which is just incredible. That started main phase, so as soon as you promote him up, you can search your security stack. This Digimon digivolves into a yellow Digimon card with the vaccine trait among them without paying the cost. Then shuffle your security stack. If digivolved by this effect, you may place 1 yellow card with the vaccine trait from your hand at the bottom of the security stack, which is really powerful because then you can put something like your level 5 in there, and then you can use your Emissary of Hope then to immediately go into that level 5. So you went from a rookie into a level 5 for basically 1 memory. So really powerful. And then his inheritable here is also really good. Your turn once per turn when a card is added to your security stack, gain 1. So when you use his effect here to Evo for free, the card gets added afterwards, which means the inheritable is online. So you just plus 1 memory when you use his effect. So good. So good. Yes, you got to have that RNG of actually having targets in your security. But for the most part, everything level 4 wise is a vaccine type, all but the Kazemon. All right, and then we've got the Patamon here from the original first yellow starter deck. Once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted by dropping to 0 DP, gain 1 memory. Very, very powerful. It helps with a lot of our Evos. A lot of our Evos do a lot of DP minusing, so if you can kill someone with that, it'll help you keep turn better. So we really like this one. We do a lot of DP minusing, especially now with the new level 5 as well. And of course the Seraphimon. So really powerful Patamon for this. So still sticking with it. We've got 4 of the Angemons here. This thing is just so... I go so back and forth on it. So he's got the when attacking by deleting this Digimon, activate one of the effects below. Place one of your opponent's Digimon with the virus trait at the bottom of their security stack. This is so like kind of meta dependent on just where the format is at, on if this is going to be good value or not. Or one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 5,000 DP for the turn. That's not too bad there. So you could swing minus 5k on something and then attack over it because you're at 6,000 DP. So 11,000 you're crashing, 10,000 or less you're killing it. Of course, 5,000 DP or less, you just outright kill it. So not too bad there. And then on deletion, place this card at the bottom of your security stack. Then if you have a tamer, you may hatch in your breeding area. So you evo for free into this guy and you just got really good value. Swinging, and then you just go right back into him. You can get it set up for another Patamon and raising. He's a pretty flexible card, which is pretty nice. And that virus trait, I've seen it pop off against Machine Dramon. Machine Dramon can be really sticky, and then you just go swing with Angemon, put it in security, trash all your sources, like feels real bad. And then his inheritable is also place 1 on deletion, place 1 yellow card with the vaccine trait from your hand at the bottom of your security. So again, he's still kind of helping out. Even after he leaves the field, you can set up your security for future turns. Really like this in conjunction with other things we have, such as this Leomon here from EX1. Security at the end of battle, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, recovery +1. With all the ways that we can put stuff like to the bottom of our security stack, especially yellow cards, having this guy in there and being able to choose where we put him, at the bottom where we know he'll trigger. Really strong. I'm a big fan of it. And it's at the end of battle. So if they swing into it and it's 5k or less, they'll die and you get the recovery, which is really strong. I know a lot of people don't run this one all that much, but he is vaccine, so you can hit him off your searches. He does synergize well with a lot of our cards of being able to just instantly put something to the bottom of our security, such as place 1 yellow card with vaccine trait from your hand at the bottom of your security off the Patamon, the Angemon. We've got multiple things that let us do that. So I'm a big fan of it, as well as this is something more for the future. But the effect here is when a card is removed from your security stack, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, you may place 1 yellow card from your hand at the top or bottom of your security stack. So something like this Magnadramon also synergizes with the Leomon if you want to go that route. So yeah, I think he's really flexible. He's just a 2-of in the deck. He's mostly for those kind of like longer games where you're getting a little grindy and you need to kind of bolster your security a little bit. He's a good one to throw in there. Of course, we have the 1-of Geo Gray, just incredibly strong in this deck. The whole reason he got limited to 1 was because of this deck. When Digivolving, search your security stack, you can play 1 red or yellow tamer card among it without paying the cost. If you did, recovery 1. So free TKs in play here. Pretty strong here, absolutely. So being able to hit stuff off and get free tamers out and just get instant value is so good, especially if you're doing like the TK that gains you memory after you recover. And then inheritable, your turn once per turn, when one of your red or yellow tamers becomes suspended, you may delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3,000 DP or less, which is really nice because we do that a whole lot with our 3-drop TKs here. So that inheritable is really good for like killing like floodgates, things like that, which you don't have to worry about needing to kill floodgates too much, but the fact that they just exist in the meta, just being able to kill off an extra, security check is pretty nice. So again, for our control style, really solid. We also have the 2 rapid mons here. He is a vaccine type, so comboed with the Patamon that evos for free out of raising area, really strong. Suspend one of your opponent's Digimon for each tamer you have in play. Then up to 3 of your opponent's suspended Digimon get minus 5,000 DP for the turn. just make sure you get your orders right on this, because the DP minus, you get -3 or -5 on 3 targets, long as they're suspended. Doesn't matter how many tamers you have. If you have no tamers, but all your opponent's Digimon are suspended, you can still target 3 of them and give them that -5. Or if you have tamers and you can pick and choose what you need that might not be suspended, really strong. So same with the Angemon here. If it's 11,000, you can crash with it, but this time we have Armor Purge, so we'll actually get to keep our rookie, which is nice. But also, if it's 10 to 6, we can swing over it. If it's 5 or less, of course, we get to kill it. Nice and flexible card here as well. Very similar to the Angemon, just doing it a little bit different. And then we got the 2 of Kazemons, hybrid for game. This deck runs 6 yellow tamers, so being able to throw 2 Kazemons in here is pretty easy. Just keep in mind, this is a variable type, not a vaccine type, so you cannot pick this up off of a Kudamon or source it. If the card specifically says it has to be a vaccine type, you can't put it in your security, things like that. But if it just states yellow, of course you can. So I think a 2 of in this is pretty solid. Sometimes it's really hard to counter hybrid for game. A lot of people, sometimes they'll forget about it, or they just get in a real tight spot, and it can be super strong. Going into our level 5 package, of course, we're still running the 4 of level 5 Magna Angemon Ace here, that Blast Digivolve. Blast Digivolve still gets me. And sometimes it's like, do I play around it? Do I not play around it? Do I just always assume if my opponent has a level 4, they have a level 5 Ace, and I'm just going to totally eat it if I swing into it? Or swing and they bounce me or something and they get a free Evo out of it. You never know. So it's really tough. And so the fact that we've got basically all of our level 5s on the deck are now Blast Evos, it's very, very likely moving forward that we will have a level 5 Ace in hand for our level 4s. So we have the on play when digivolving. If you have 5 or fewer security cards, recovery +1. Then for the turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets 1,000 DP for each card in your security stack. So at the very most, you can minus 6,000 DP, because if you're at 5 + 1, that's 6. Simple math there. So minus 6,000 DP is pretty solid. Especially if you do those combos. In a previous build, I was running the Pidomon here, so I would block like a rookie, right? They'll try to bait me, and they'll swing with a rookie, and I'll block it, right? And then they're going to try to swing over with something a little bit bigger, and then you just blast Evo right into your Magna Angemon. You DP minus it, so that way you can guarantee that you can kill whatever it is. So if you're minusing 6k on something, that puts you at killing anything at 14k, right? 14k you match, 13,000 DP or less, and they just die to it, which is a decent amount, honestly. 13,000 DP, 12,000 DP, I mean, that's pretty much the standard for most level 6s, so they're all dying to that. Yeah, so absolutely worth it, and you do all that for a free Evo. Granted, they will gain that memory for the overflow, but being able to kill a Mega, totally worth it, in my opinion. Basically, you're sacrificing a level 4 to kill their Mega and getting it off the field. Next, we got the new Angemon, and I really, really enjoyed this Angemon. Me, as a control player, this just sings to me. So, has, of course, the counter Blast Evo on play when digivolving by trashing the top or bottom card of your security stack. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 6,000 DP until the end of their turn, which is really good if if you set up your security and you know what's in there, and you can guarantee that they'll die if they get that minus 6k on them. That's really strong. Or they just swing with something with 6,000 DP and you blast Evo and kill it before. I mean, they were going to get the security check anyways, so why not get a free Evo, clear the body, right? Get the guaranteed kill, because maybe your security isn't a guaranteed that they'll die in security, or maybe you can kill something else. There's lots of different things that can interact there, and I think that's really strong. And also in conjunction with the all turns once per turn, when a card is removed from your security stack, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, recovery +1. If your opponent just lets an Angemon sit on the battlefield, for those that weren't here during the Dynasmon format, way back, what was that, BT4, I think, if you just let these cards like this sit on the field, That's twice the amount of security that you have to potentially chew through if you can't, get multiple attacks in one turn. So if you're just trying to do chip damage, one attack per turn, that doesn't work. If you try to build up your field, this is a control deck, so they'll just kill your stuff when you put it out on field. So it's just very frustrating to play around cards like this. And so I love this. As a former Dynasmon player, having this on a level 5, 4 play cost, or 3 Evo, or 0 Evo, like, dang, like this feels like power creep, like hardcore to me, because Dynasmon, that was a mega. You had an Evo for 4 to get into, a little bit, stickier than this one is, but still, the fact that you can do this for so cheap is just insane to me. So literally, I could just hard play a couple Angelmons. Oh God, and trigger them all at once. So powerful. All right, enough about Angelmon Ace, though. Seraphimon from BT14. I'm still rocking this one when Digivolving Recovery +1. All turns once per turn, when a card is added to your security stack, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 7,000 DP, and this Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. So you Evo, you recover, you kill something with this. If you have the Patamon underneath, that gains you a memory back when something dies to the minus. Essentially, he's a 3 Evo cost. If you have the Memory Fixer TK, you keep turn. If you have the other TK, that also helps you keep turn here, kill something, and then swing with that security attack bonus. For me, once I stick the Seraphimon, I keep turn. I've got the security attack +1. I gotta swing. Like, I can't not swing. Unless I'm like in a really like hardcore grinding match and I know my opponent's going to deck out before me, and possibly swinging to security gives them more resources to pop off, then I won't, of course. But yeah, pretty strong. I mean, yeah, there's not really much else to say there. And then he, of course, combos really nicely with the Shadow Seraphimon. Still rocking this one as well. The D-Digivolve, I think, is just super strong right now. When a card is removed from your security stack, D-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, and that's not once per turn. So in conjunction, if you have like an Angelmon also on field and you're recovering, then that's just more security that they have to chew through. And so that's more D-Digivolve. D-Digivolve's just so strong in the format, just all together. There's just so much out there that if you can D-Digivolve them, they're going to really, really hurt them. So not too bad. And then a lot of times they don't want to deal with this because on deletion recovery 1, then one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4,000 DP for the turn for each card in your security. So guaranteed it's going to be -4 because you're going to get that recovery +1. So even if you're at 0, I don't know why they would be killing your Shadow Seraphimon if you're at 0 security, but that's on them. But yeah, so super strong card here. Big fan of it. That D-Digivolve, I think, is still coming in clutch. Now, that said, I was looking at, the new Magnadramon, which as a control player, this card, it feels so good. I so want to try this in security control. Just that on play, mainly the when Digivolving, by trashing the top or bottom card of your security stack, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 9,000 DP until the end of their turn. So 3 Evo minus 9,000 DP. That in itself is pretty solid. Losing your security as a setcon player feels bad. However, if you time it right, the all turns kicks in. So once per turn, when a card is removed from your security stack, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, you may place 1 yellow card from your hand at the top or bottom of your security stack. So that's what we were talking about earlier in the the mid to late game. When your security is at 4 or less, you can go into the Magnadramon and you're going to start seeing really good value here. Of being able to stack your own security. So as a a setcon player, look at the slew of options we have to choose from. Literally options here. We got the Wyvern's Breath for the minus 15,000 DP as a kill option. We've got the Heaven's Judgment, which can be kind of niche, minus 6,000 DP, and then for every color you can minus another 6,000 DP, depending on what you have on field. That can be pretty powerful as a main effect, but the security effect is just a instant. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 12,000 DP for the turn, so just instant value there with no setup needed, which is basically what you would get anyway. You would get the Digimon on field and the natural minus 6k. Stuff like Lone Key here, which we are running in the deck, which we'll get to in a little bit. But this is incredibly powerful because if you can put this as the 4th card in security, oh man, the Magnadramon feels so good. Like Evo Magnadramon, like to pass turn, trash the 4th card, so minus was 9,000 on something, and then go Lone Key from hand as 4th card. Ooh, and then your opponent hits this in security, right? And so you got a second Lone Key. You just put the next one right there as the 4th card again. Ooh, that feels nasty. So yeah, for those that don't know, if you have 3 or more security cards, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 12,000 DP for the turn. If you have 3 or fewer security cards, place one of your opponent's Digimon face down on top of their security stack. So if you're at the perfect sweet spot right in the middle of 3, you get both effects. And of course, the security activates the main effect. So good. Absolutely incredible. And then continuing on with like the SetCon package, if you're doing the yellow purple, you can throw in your chaos decks, because sometimes drawing them in hand kind of sucks. You don't really necessarily want to hard play a chaos deck sometimes, but being able to choose where you want this, you want to put it on the top, you can put it on the bottom, so makes it a little difficult for the opponent to play around sometimes, or they forget that you put it on the bottom at some point during the game. Next, we have the Sunrise Buster as well, throwing us back to the yellow-red SetCon days of Sunrise Buster, of play a yellow tamer from red or yellow from your hand without paying the memory cost. Then one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 DP for the turn for each tamer, yellow or red tamer you have in play. Super strong. Security activates, so just place this in security off your Magnadramon here. Guarantee that it's going to get hit. Free tamer on board, which is going to be really good with our TKs here. Then we get to activate our TK on play effects, and they'll get the minus DP for having tamers, because Vaccine likes to play out its TKs early. Like, absolutely, you just go ham on the TKs early, so that way when you get to that third, fourth turn, all of your turns are just absolutely massive pop-offs, because the TK gains you so much memory that you can just keep going on really, really big plays. So Sunrise Buster, if you get to choose to put it in security, again, I would only want to run this if I was running the Magnadramon, so I can guarantee that I can put it in security, because you're not running any, well, I say that, you have a Geo Greymon, but you're really not running any red in the deck, so being able to play this normally, not all that likely. So Magnadramon, it really pops off. Of course, there's the Holy Flame security. All of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 1 security attack. Putting this in security, just right there, top card, 4th card, it hits their whole field, and it just basically turns off their turn. It's a really cheap option card that in security pretty much devastates most decks. There's not a whole lot of decks out there running around that get multiple security checks besides, like your red-based Greymon stuff, which isn't super popular right now. So Holy Flame has some really good value. All right. And of course, the Reinforcing Memory Boost, always a solid one. It's good to hard play. If it ends up security, not too bad either, because you gain 3 memory, so you can allow for a really big pop-off turn. So, of course, that's always on the table as a possible choice. All right, getting back to our full-on deck, though. For our tamers, we're playing the TK from BT14, that on play. By returning the top card of your security stack to your hand, you may place 1 yellow card with a vaccine trait from your hand at the bottom as the bottom security stack. This is really good for ensuring that your Patamon has a target, right? You play you Evo Patamon, you hard play TK. That's like the perfect turn 1 setup for vaccine, like 99% of the time. That's the exact, doesn't matter. Like that's the turn 1 play every single time. So you add that top card. Doesn't matter what it is. You can't choose to put it back down. It's not a choice. You have to take it, and then you can put something underneath. Now you do have to reveal it to your opponent. Show it it's a yellow vaccine card, and then you put it to the bottom of your security. And then when a card is added to your security stack, by suspending this tamer, gain 1 memory. So he's basically a 2 play cost on his own on-play effect. Oh, it's so gnarly. I can't believe they made him a 3 play cost. So just so stinking good. And then we have the old school BT1 TK. It's so crazy how these old school cards still sticking around. We've got the Davis for blue-green decks, or just blue decks in general. We've got the Mimis, right, that you suspend and promote up out of raising area, or hatch an extra egg that turn. Oh, God, these old school memory fixer tamers are just absolutely incredible. But on play, look at your security, reveal 1 card, and add it to your hand. If that card is yellow, trigger recovery +1. So, good way to get a solid memory fixer for the deck, as well as pull out your useful cards, something that you might not want in there. Maybe you don't think you'll be able to use your, you don't have an Emissary of Hope, or you don't think you'll be able to get one in time, and you don't want to risk it losing that card in security going to trash from your opponent swing into it. So you just grab it out with the TKs, so that we'll just have it. And of course, you can always put it back in later with, we have several cards that just let you put cards back in security of your choice. And then if you're ready for the Emissary of Hope later on, and then you can go ahead and pop it. So nice flexible card. I'm running 4 Emissary of Hope. Like, this is a grindy deck. We're going to need all of them, right? This deck isn't like super aggro, and by the time we get a second stack, the game's over. That's not always the case with this deck a lot of times. So having 4 Emissary of Hopes, and you're going to go through all of them very easily. Like, I see some people running 3, but this is such a 4 of card for me. Just 1 play cost Evo. Like, what's not to love there? Again, we get to set up our security how we like. So this just feels like a must-have at 4. I don't know. That's just me. If you're very hardcore against 4, let me know in the comments, because I'm very curious of why you're against having 4 costs. Is it, or 4 copies? Is it just the deck is just too tight and you need the extra slot? Main, search your security stack. One of your Digimon may digivolve into 1 level 6 or lower Digimon card with the vaccine trait among them without paying the cost. Then shuffle your security stack. If Digi-evolve by this effect and you have a Tamer with TK in its name, recovery 1. So we don't even lose any value there. And then security, you may play 1 Patamon from your hand or trash without paying the cost. Then add this card to hand, so you don't even lose it if it winds up in security. And you get the free Patamon on field, especially if you go with the BT14 Patamon. That this gets hit in security. So turn's coming back to you here soon. And then you can play this Patamon out, start of your main phase, evo it for free, and then you got the Emissary of Hope in hand to immediately go into a level 5. Yeah, and if you have something, because the Patamon gets to look, so if the Emissary of Hope is alive or not, so you don't even have to worry about wasting it. We got the 2 physical trainings in here, honestly, this is a flex spot, I would say. Reveal 2, add in a yellow card, delay. One of your Digimon may evo with the Digivolution cost reduced by 2. Right? We can add our Tamers. We can add our option cards. Of course, our Digimon as well. The whole deck is yellow, so we'll never miss. You can always add whatever you need in the moment. I just had spot for 2. And even then, you could argue cutting it out entirely for other things. You bump up other things in the deck. If you need, level 7s, if you want to run the Ruin mode, you can put that in here instead. And then the Lone Key, which we already talked about. Some decks are immune to DP minus. Like, that's just a thing. If you come against a deck that is like that, especially something like a Machinedramon that just sticks a really big body, like that you can't clear, you can't DP minus it, you can't swing past it because its DP is too high. What do you do in those matchups? I mean, I guess you could Angemon if you have it. But, some other decks that maybe you can't do that. Maybe it's a Greymon and they went into the Metal Greymon X antibody that has DP minus prevention, right? But you got to kill it, because if you don't kill it this turn, they're going to pop off next turn and you're just dead. So Lone Key, being able to handle those, really tricky decks. Like, I really like Lone Key as the option of choice for outing stuff. Like, I don't need to run Wyvern's Breath because I've got so much DP minus in the deck. If I need to kill something that big, I can probably manage it through my other effects here. So I don't really feel the need for Wyvern's Breath. Lone Key, the second part of it is where I see the value the most, but having that flexibility of also doing the minus 12,000 DP, it just feels so good. I have it as just a 1 currently, but I would really like to fit in another one. Maybe that's where I cut the Emissary of Hope down to 3, just because the deck is so tight that I need to cut down 1 to go into the extra Lone Key, or maybe I can cut down one of our level 5s down by 1 and get an extra Lone Key that way. It's just, I don't know. That's a tough call to make. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please put it in the comment section below. I will absolutely answer you guys if I can at all. Or someone else in the community also is really good about, usually putting their thoughts as well. Always good, wholesome thoughts, never anything negative. So I will catch you guys in the